started. And now we are moving on to a set of pieces that was arranged by a friend of mine, Clair Cangialosi, and she recently graduated with her doctorate from Shenandoah University, or Shenandoah Conservatory, excuse me. And her thesis was on the bassoon and how vocal techniques are used very predominantly in bassoon playing, and we often tell our students to sing through their bassoon. And so, excuse me while I get this lined up. So she arranged these pieces, a whole book of pieces actually, which were originally written as Vocalises. They were written as vocal studies for students, and she arranged them for bassoon. And so Matthew Fry is here to join me as we play through a few of these Vocalises. but I promise it's the last time. Well, kind of. It's the last contra piece. So what this is truly just such a beautiful piece. This is so cool. This composer, Florence Price, lived in the early 1900s, and she was an African American, and she was able to get into the New England Conservatory to study music. And she was a prolific writer, wrote almost 500 pieces during her life, had some of her pieces premiered by the Chicago Symphony, and wrote symphonic works. She wrote a lot of chamber music, a lot of vocal music. The piece that I'm going to play today is Adoration, and it was originally for organ, but it was arranged by Elaine Fine for strings. It also became very popular as a solo violin piece with a string orchestra, but this version is arranged by Elaine Fine for originally for cello and piano, and we're going to do it on contra. And now, back to bassoon. It seemed like such a good idea when I was planning this. But, isn't that beautiful? I just love that piece so much. So nice. So, this next piece is a piece by Minuet I. And literally, I was just like looking through IMSLP randomly one day. My music people know IMSLP, where you can download free music. And so I was there one day, and I thought, oh, I'll just, look at a couple pieces. And I found this piece, and I really just loved it. It's Pajarillo, and it is, I know nothing about Minor Estrada. I tried to look him up. I think he might have been born in 1985. He does have a Facebook page, so he's still alive, at least I think. But he's written many pieces, that's all it says, literally, about him. So haha Rio. But the next couple pieces that I'm going to play for you are from a piece by another friend of mine. He actually composed this, Ryan Romine, who is the bassoon professor at Shenandoah Conservatory. And he is just one of the most creative people. So he wrote a book a few years ago about the modern techniques on bassoon. And I'm going to be honest with you, there are only a couple of these that I can actually play. Because they are really wild. But I wanted to play a few of them, and the next two are just so much fun, and I hope that you will enjoy them as much as I do. For the first one, I do need a little bit of a prop. I'm going to add a little bit of just plain aluminum foil to my bell, and just fold it over here, and let's move a little bit. So this is a piece called Clown Act, and aluminum foil on the bell is the modern technique. So, but honestly, with or without the aluminum foil, adorable piece. So, there we go. So this is the Bassoon Boogie, It was written by an Australian composer named Carolyn Morris. She's an oboe player in Australia and plays piano and composes and teaches. And she wrote this. It was commissioned by the Australasian Delareed Society, and that's all I know about that. But I'm super excited to share this with you today. It's just a whole lot of fun to play. want to tell you how much it meant to me for all of you to come today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Matthew Fry. Matthew is really the reason this is happening. I was thinking about it, and Matthew's like, so what's a date? So what's a date? Do we have a date? And finally, so finally here we are, and I'm just so thrilled, and I really appreciate everything. It's been amazing. It's been so much fun to get to play with you. It's been wonderful. And the rest of the thank yous are in there, but also Scott, so. Yeah, he's the one that gets everything. And I'm so appreciative. So Thank you to everybody for being here. We are gonna go, and I apologize. I was like, reception, and so I was like, no. But there's a place called Twin Oaks. Twisted Oaks. Hey, that's a place right down the road. Something with a T in it. So Twisted Oak is right down the road. So if you go out here and you turn right, I'm going to buy pizza, and it is a farm brewery, but it's outside, and so we can just hang out, and you can have a Coke or whatever else you like. They have a wide assortment of things. So thank you so much for being here, and yeah, thank you. And we'll see you.